There's no better time to finish a monster than 3:31 a.m. Texas time. Yeehaw.
Welcome to the rodeo.
It's nice to be here. There's no other thing I'd be awake for than the last two Brain Cells podcast.
Yep, it's 3:31 where you're at, 11:31 over here across the pond in Istanbul. Gobble, gobble. Woo. What happened?
I just stepped on this charger.
Oh, prongs up.
Prongs up. Well, good news. I'm charged up for the episode.
You know how like the most painful thing to step on is Legos?
Legos.
And you know who fucks with Legos?
Children.
I'm not going to waste any time this episode. If you're a child, get the fuck out of here. Bye, little guy. Bye, little man.
Bye.
See ya, toodaloo, little loser. You can't watch this. But really, if you're a kid, don't watch this. This is not for you. This is for adults only. And adults, you can play with Legos. It's just a little bit weird. You got to admit it. All right, let's get this.
Toodle ta-ta, child.
Yeah, you know what Joe Rogan and children have in common?
Being little guys.
They're both certified little guys.
Oh, they don't have like fully finished thoughts.
Yeah, but we're only coming for one of those groups of people, and that's Joe Rogan. We're coming for you. Children, you run away.
Fear is not a factor for us.
Let's do brain cells, let's do brain cells, let's do brain cells, let's do brain cells.
Yo, welcome back to the Last Two Brain Cells podcast. My name is Austin, and I'm here with Mr. Two Coffee Cups.
Not bad.
And we are two big boys up way too early and way too late for episode number 32 of the Last Two Brain Cells podcast. Today is October 13th, Cocktober 2024, and I am very excited to talk about a lot of stuff. Last week we talked about calling people little guys and saying toodaloo, but this week's we're having ethical discussions, so strap on. Oh, and here's a sneak peek of what's to come.
Spoiler alert, it's me. I'm gonna come.
And this time it's not even Patreon exclusive. It's like the Sneeches on the beaches, but instead of star bellies and non-star bellies, it's who's got that thing and who ain't got that thing.
And I'm stacking bodies. My body count every night for the last week has just been rising and rising, sometimes 5 per night.
Me, Donovan. Me, Austin.
Let me introduce you. Right hand, cock and balls. Left hand, ethics. They're shaking hands right in the middle. This is the subject we've been waiting for. For those who are missing the cock and balls, for those who are enjoying the ethics, take a seat. This next story is for you.
Jump and jack. Jump and jack. And 3, 4, 7, 8. Twist, do a spin. Now we win. Yeah, let's get in to the episode begin.
Having a stand-up desk is just life-changing. You can do so many more things.
I mean, the thing is, stand-up desk, that puts you in a category, and you don't like to live in categories. You're not one to be boxed up. You could stand up, but you could do any other verb. You could jumping jack desk. You could jack off desk. You could spin desk. There's so many options.
And I'm going to take all of them up.
Man, one thing that we have not done, or I assume you have not done, but we should, is, do you remember when you were a kid, like way back in the day when we used to like go outside and play, like in the 90s? And you would see like on green grass, if you ever remember seeing green grass, there would be sprinklers on the grass, and they go in a circle.
Yeah.
Could we perform that maneuver with our caucuses while we come?
Whoa, like the Bellagio, but like outward.
Spinning, yes.
Projectile. That'd be pretty cool. Like shooting shots in a circle with the boys.
Like anybody within a 3-meter radius is getting hit.
Like I feel like some men in their midlife crisis like to jump out of planes and hold hands upside down while they free for all. And like I think we just all want to like link arms and like do like a cool like showtime of cum explosions. Like that'd be much cooler. That's my like midlife crisis.
Cirque du Soleil, but with a lot more semen.
Ooh, I mean, there's usually just a lot of acrobats, but acrobats coming now.
Yeah, acro back shots.
Ooh.
So this episode is going to be ethics based. We're really excited for this. We got a lot of hot button topics to talk through, and hopefully we'll all learn a little bit and laugh a little bit. And I just wanted to start first. What is the definition of ethics? The definition of ethics is moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. We're going to be discussing ethics this episode. This is episode 32, coincidentally, the same age that Alexander the Great died of unknown causes. What killed him? Who knows?
Oh, that's
But
crazy.
before we dive on into this really murky pool of philosophy and discussion, I think we have a little bit of a Survivor update.
Oh, yes. We are currently running a thing in our Patreon, patreon.com/L2BC. We're doing a fantasy football league, but for Survivor Season 47. And I just want to do a quick update. Donovan, he finally is caught up on the show, but not by watching the episodes. He's been watching the episodes via a dude on YouTube breaking them down like Spark Notes. Can you correct me on that if I'm wrong?
I got to be honest, ain't nobody got time for full episodes these days. I am a busy bee trying to get a job here in Istanbul. And so the best I can do is 10 minutes per episode. And this guy does a really good job. Let me blow him up here. Let me find his YouTube channel to recommend him to everyone at home.
So you're telling me you're getting like team analysis, tribe analysis from a YouTuber, while the rest of us are just watching these hour and a half long episodes.
That's right. And so the channel name is Reality Art Pod. Highly recommend. The summaries are really succinct, good analysis, and just generally seems like a likable narrator. So please check him out if you don't want to waste your time like you've been.
Well, here's the thing. I would usually say this is a lame way to do it. You got to watch the episodes with your heart, with your eyes. You got to outwit, you got to outplay, you got to outlast on the couch the whole season. But apparently, whatever you're doing, it's working because at the leaderboard department, you are in spot number 1 by a long shot. Everyone else in our Fantasy Survivor League is watching this shit weekly, and you are just doing 10-minute recaps, and you are at the freaking top.
Yeah, thank you, man. All I could say is you guys are probably just getting too close to the subjects. You know what I mean? When you're spending all of this time with them and you're a victim of the editing process, you become emotional, you become attached and engaged with certain players and their play styles. I don't give a shit about any of that. All I care about is what they look like and what this guy says about them for 30 seconds each episode.
It's a good point, and I guess it's working because you're ahead by a lot.
Thank you. I will. Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Maybe you could join me. Actually, no, you're number 2. You're number 2.
I am right behind you. I am trailing. The last 2 Brain Cells Survivor Fantasy Football League is you and then me and then Sunny Brew after. And it's looking pretty good. We have plenty of episodes left. And if you want to join in on this in the future, join patreon.com/L2BC. We do have a prize for first place, and that is a Last 2 Brain Cells coffee cup sent to you for free if you're the winner. But Donovan, you might be coming in hot with the steal here.
Yeah, I will go ahead and just eschew my coffee cup. Whoever comes after me can go ahead and take that thing because we don't want to ship that thing all the way to Istanbul.
I'm going to be coming in after you. And I would like to say, if I win the coffee cup, I will pass it to whoever's after me.
Yeah. Can we have coffee cup immunity?
Yes, we have coffee cup immunity idols. We are not going to be getting the coffee cup. The tribe has spoken.
Maybe you could be drinking out of a free coffee mug, depending on how you perform it, if you could outwit, outlast, and outplay us.
And additionally, we might be doing a Pokemon Smash or Pass video. We'll see. Bonus content on the Patreon.
Yeah, everyone's stoked for that one, dude. You introduced me to this Pokemon this morning. It was Miltank. What was it?
You didn't know about Miltank. Yeah, we were talking about our demographics and the people that actually like our podcast and the moments that do well within our episodes. And the 2 topics we've been doing really well with recently is burping. We talked about this last week. People love it when we burp. And also Pokemon. So the question was, which Pokemon would you let burp all over you? And I said Miltank.
Yeah, and I just did a quick Google of this Pokemon. I don't know anything beyond the Gen 1 Pokemon, and I just have to say, they are getting so lazy with these Pokemon. The category of this guy is milk cow. That's just a real animal. The category for a Pokemon is milk cow. His abilities are scrappy, thick fat.
I mean, me too, baby. Me fucking too.
What does that mean?
It's a lifestyle. If you get it, you get it.
He's just a pink cow. He's just a cow.
Amen.
Like,
ain't a crime.
What happened to like a fire breathing dragon Pokemon or like a turtle with fucking cannons on his back?
Okay, really quick, since we're talking Pokemon, fire-breathing dragon Pokemon, I heard a little bit of the lore of where Charmander, the concept came from recently. Did you read this?
No, what's up?
I'm pretty sure I read this on Reddit or somewhere else online that's talking about Pokemon lore, as that's something I'm reading at 3 a.m. on my iPad. Charmander is actually a fire salamander. I always just thought he was a dragon, but I guess he's more of a salamander. And the lore goes back to, I guess, this tree that used to get burnt down, where salamanders would be inside of this tree. And as it was getting burnt down, they would end up scurrying out of the tree as it was decaying, literally on fire. So Charmander was supposed to represent this experience where a specific salamander would, in fact, catch fire. And I didn't realize that the lore of Charmander went back to reality a little bit, and it kind of got me excited. So my question is, where's the pink cows in the world? I want to meet a Miltank. What's the lore there?
Bro, it's just a cow. It's just a cow. His
No.
ability is Scrappy. What is that ability?
I mean, it's not an ability, it's a lifestyle. Anyway, shout out to Pokemon. Shout out to our burpers. And let's keep this episode rolling. We can just do like a burp a month. Like you can do, all right, this is me, Donovan. Here's my burp, you guys. Happy January. Blah. And I'll do mine. Blah. And then we'll have a bunch of new Patreon members. And we'll be the #1 podcast, bigger than Joe Rogan.
Yeah, sure.
The economy's bad. We gotta do what we gotta do. Rent's very high.
Are there any fetishes for like earwax? Because I produce like probably half a pound of earwax per month.
Well,
So if anyone wants to see me pull that out of my body and just see a actually like covered in orange gunk Q-tip, that would be something I can definitely provide.
I think there are at least 10 to 20 people that would pay a good check to see that. I think you just
Okay.
gotta find the right website.
Yeah. Well, calling all earwax enthusiasts, I got you. I'm the new
Ooh.
plug.
You could let them do an ear candle on you.
Yeah,
You ever
sure.
done an ear candle?
It's yeah, I have, but it's 100% malarkey. Have I told you about this?
I don't know.
It's a complete scam. It's a
I don't
complete
know.
scam. No, it's the stupidest. I think ear candles are on the exact same plane of existence as crystal energy, as astrology, etc.
Wow, that's a big statement.
Let's jump into it, man. I have not been sleeping well for the last week. I would say I haven't slept for a full night. And that's because every single night around 3 a.m., I wake up to a bzzz, bzzz, and then I have to go slap myself in the fucking face because there's a
no.
mosquito that's on me. And then I get out of bed, turn the light on, and then I go into hunter mode. I go into caveman mode. I have a specific towel that I use to slap these things, and I just patrol around the room until I find where it lands. I slap the shit out of him, and then I go
With
right
your
back
mosquito
to sleep
towel. With your mosquito towel.
with the mosquito towel, and I'm stacking bodies. My body count every night for the last week has just been rising and rising, sometimes 5 per night. Okay.
Oh my god,
And-
sniper gang.
It's happening 3 a.m. Okay, go back to sleep. 4 a.m. Okay, go back to sleep. They will not fucking let me rest. And I think that there's something in the water here in Istanbul, or just the mosquitoes here are cunning. They're intelligent. I don't know how, because they are small-brained little fuckers. But the mosquitoes in America, it's like, yeah, they'll come in and they might land on you, but then they're slow and stupid and you could just slap them. But here, they're fast. And if they detect that you know that they're around, that their presence is known, then they will not show their fucking faces for at least half an hour until you're back
Damn.
asleep. And then all of a sudden it's zzz, and I've had a fucking enough of these things.
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
So first off, I'm on a murderous rampage. I have not been so upset by, you know that I love living things. I love
You do.
animals and bugs. I don't like to kill things. I like to put them outside
Or eat them.
or eat them, because that's the circle of life. You know what I mean? If you're gonna kill them, at least take the nutrients that they have gathered into yourself, because that's
Yes.
the proper thing to do.
That's
But
right.
there is a strong exception that I make towards mosquitoes.
You won't
they
eat
are-
mosquitoes.
No. One, because they're full of blood. That's gross. But 2, because they are just Satan spawn, scourge of the earth organisms that should not exist. I will die on the hill. I believe mosquitoes should be eradicated. I am dead serious. And that brings up our first fun fact of the episode.
Fun fact.
Yay!
So, okay, in all of human history, you know that we love to fight. You know that if you put two groups of humans together side by side, they're going to have some conflict, right? And
I
usually
love
that
it.
conflict ends violently because we just can't keep it in our pants. And by it, I mean our swords and our fists and our sticks and whatever other technology that we have, our guns nowadays. But if you combine all of the wars and all of the battles in all of human history, and you looked at all of the casualties from all of those conflicts, how many people do you think have died from that?
From war or atrocities in general?
Yeah, from battle and war and human violence towards each other.
I would say 1 billion.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. You're spot on.
Boom!
Yeah.
That's right, baby. That's fucking right.
Nice. And now mosquitoes, just in the last 50,000 years, have killed more humans than all of the battle and war and shit combined. Mosquitoes are the deadliest animal on the planet. Every single year, mosquitoes kill about 600,000 people, mainly children, due to basically disease, malaria and shit. It's vector-borne illness.
Those fuckers.
They are fuckers, and they should not exist. And here's my gripe, okay? Because I don't live in a place. I've never lived in a place where they spread malaria, because there's thousands of species of mosquito, and only a few hundred are attracted to humans and human blood, and only a subsection of those actually carry these illnesses that end up killing people. Luckily, I've never lived in a region with those kinds of mosquitoes, so I haven't had to fear for my life. But I still vehemently hate them simply because they are annoying. They are irritating, unnecessarily. If they just were designed, if they wanted to come in silently like a B-2 bomber and land on me, politely ask for it and take my blood, and carry on about their business, I would say, you know what, we can coexist. I can deal with that, right? But they are so fucking audacious. The way that they buzz when they fly, that sound they make, what other bug makes a buzz like that size? Nothing. For some reason, they just decide that they need to light up your fucking ears every time they come in for a landing. And it is the most irritating. Anyway, they land on you. They bite you with their little proboscis, the thing that they put into your skin. That's called a proboscis. They're stabbing you with the proboscis. The same shit that a butterfly has, but a butterfly uses it for good, for pollination. In any case, when they leave, not only do they possibly transfer diseases that'll kill you, but it itches. And that's fucking annoying. And I found myself, we were trying to watch a movie last night on the couch. Me and my fiance, we had a long day. We were just trying to relax. I was shirtless and I was getting marauded by these mosquitoes. And there was nothing I could do about it. I was sitting there itching like a fucking crocodile addict. You know what I mean?
You got a proboscis in you here. You got a proboscis in you there. What are you supposed to do?
I was getting gangbanged by mosquito proboscises. And all I could do was pause the episode and say, you know what? I've had enough. I can't fucking deal with this anymore. I'm going to bed. And then guess what happened when I went to bed?
They follow you.
Yeah, and we have an oil diffuser in the room that's meant to. These guys are
freaks.
They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Okay, smoke, oil, whatever. I will go to sleep bathed in deep, and they will still find a way to just fuck me. And
those fuckers.
Yeah. So anyway. That's the fun fact is they've killed more people than all of armed conflict of human history in the last 50,000 years. But that leads into our first ethical discussion.
You have run out of free disk space to save a local backup of the data. I recommend that you stop the recording and clear out some disk space to prevent possible data loss. Well, then we'll be right back on this episode of The Last Two Brain Cells.
I know. Go shorty, it's your birthday. We gonna podcast like it's your birthday.
All right, I'm back. I was listening to a loud song.
Oh, what were you listening to?
The new Shed Theory.
Good.
Pretty exciting. This one's called Fuck Money.
Yeah, that's an absolute, that's a Christmas classic.
Yeah, it's coming out right in time for the holidays.
Yeah. I love just, cozying up with my loved ones on the couch and around the fire, just looking at all the gifts in the tree and just putting on Fuck Money.
Say, honey, could you put on Fuck Money again? It's just such a cozy tune.
Yeah. Let me just finish this Christina Aguilera repeat for the 16th time.
No, I thought that was kind of interesting because I recently read a fact online, as you do at 4 a.m, that apparently around 6 or 7% of all humans who have ever lived are currently alive right now. So everyone who is alive in this current moment is like 6 or 7% of the total amount of people that have ever been alive. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I found it like kind of like a little bit of a cozy fact. I was like, oh, like, there haven't been that many of us. Like, there's been a lot of people over the course of time. And I think the estimate was around 117 billion or so. But that's not that many.
One way to think about that really blows my mind is that basically for every living person on Earth, for you and for me, etc., there's 15 dead people. That's it. Like all that separates us, like our species from existence all the way up until like this day is 15 people.
That's like the amount of people on a baseball team.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like a half of a classroom of children, which should not be listening to this podcast.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but yeah, 117 billion people total, and 1 billion of those people just in the last 50,000 years were killed from conflict, from us just not being able to get along.
Naughty.
So before we get into the facts, I just want to know at the top of this ethical discussion, what do you think about mosquitoes? Should they live? Should they die?
All right, so I have had one question in the back of my mind is buzzing the whole time, and it is, why are they important? They've got to have some sort of significant reason for being here. There's got to be something they provide for this planet, and there's got to be a reason. But honestly, I would prefer them all to gotta go, get out of here, leave orbit, just stop existing. But I imagine there's some reason we need them.
The scientists don't really agree right now in terms of the ecological impact of eradicating all of the mosquitoes. Some say that it could be devastating, and some people say that it would balance out and we'd be totally fine in a couple generations.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, but in any case, so your position is that depending on the reason for their existence, they should just bounce. They should not exist. They suck.
Yeah, I think if they're providing like big benefits, like how bees make honey, bees, they pollinate flowers, they keep the ecosystem rolling and going and looking beautiful out there. But
Right.
if they had no purpose, they're just scary little stinging guys, and I wouldn't like them as much. But knowing they have a reason for the season to keep this Earth moving is like, all right, don't touch them, let them be, in a sense. But mosquito gotta goes, if you ask me.
I mean, everything sort of exists for a reason if you look at the grand scheme of things from a natural sense of the world. But
that's so true.
We've kind of been engineering and cultivating our environments since the very beginning. That's sort of what brought us to the top of the food chain and what allows us to proliferate so successfully to this day. And you could say the same argument about like polio or a lot of other things that we've eradicated, like some of the deadliest things on Earth that we've successfully gotten rid of. And now the world is simply better off as a result. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, COVID exists for a reason. You could say that it culls a population of things on Earth, and that population is us as humans. And actually, mosquitoes do the same thing. Like I was saying, mosquitoes are the deadliest animals on Earth. By killing 600,000 children a year, they're effectively keeping our population down better than any other animal. And if you look at maybe the holistic effect of our dying versus not, we're probably more detrimental to the environment than anything else. So mosquitoes are doing us a favor by killing us in that sense.
Whoa.
But they're still fucking annoying. So that's where the discussion comes into play.
Man, and then it leads to the real question, who's more of a nuisance to this planet, us or mosquitoes? And at the end of the day, I feel like we're doing worse than the mosquitoes are. So I feel like maybe we need to get swatted.
You could argue that. And I guess let's dive into a couple more of the facts here. So you had mentioned that bees are potentially better and have more of a reason or deserve to be here more because they pollinate shit. And actually, mosquitoes are pollinators as well.
What? So, no shot?
Yeah, maybe not as they don't pollinate as much as bees do, but female mosquitoes only end up going for humans and human blood during mating season. So when they're not like sucking blood, they're sucking flowers.
I thought they were just suckers.
Right. But yeah, and the other, in terms of like their position on the food pyramid or whatever in the ecosystem, they are debatably important, but potentially not. Basically, there are a lot of predators for the mosquito. The mosquito are prey animals for birds, for bats, for fish, for other insects like dragonflies. However, the interesting thing is they don't make up a large proportion of any of these predators' diets. So the theory is, for about bat, for example, bats eat a shit ton of mosquitoes, but they've done studies and basically come out with the result that mosquitoes are only like 1 to 5% of a bat's overall diet.
Damn,
And
there's
so
snacks.
exactly, like for example, if all Taco Bells were eradicated, you would still survive because you have a lot of other shit to eat. And so
I
that's
don't know.
kind of the argument.
I don't know. It's kind of my go-to. That's like my main watering hole. You're kind of threatening my whole species if you take those out.
Okay, maybe you specifically would be fucked, but more than likely you'd probably just end up more at like a Taco Cabana or Whataburger or whatever.
That's true.
And
You got me
it's
there.
the same argument with bats and any other predators of the mosquito that, hey, if they don't exist, it's not a big deal. There's other shit that they can eat.
That's true. I mean, especially if they're only snacks. Like, they got rid of the Twinkie for a while and we're still here.
Yeah, and we're probably a lot better off because of it. You know what I mean? Eradicate the Twinkie and eradicate the mosquito.
Think about it. Use your head, folks.
Given that we don't exactly know the impact that killing all mosquitoes would have on the environment, it could be fine. It could be horrible. What do you think now? So they do serve some function. Some animals eat them. They do pollinate some flowers. But in the end, flowers are still going to get pollinated. These animals are still going to get fed. So fuck them, right?
I say toss them in the bin and throw them away.
Later, skeeters. All right.
Peace.
So when it comes to throwing them away, this is a whole nother ethical discussion. And
no.
is also just kind of interesting on a scientific level or like on the scale of mosquitoes. Like mosquitoes are everywhere. You know what I mean? Everywhere that is warm enough and that they're like people for them to fuck with, they exist. And that's a lot of places. How would you kill all mosquitoes if you had the task of getting rid of every mosquito on Earth?
I say we take bug spray and we just turn it up a notch. We make it a little spookier, a little scarier. It's not just a deterrent, but it's a good old classic see you later sauce that we can rub all over our skin. And if they even think about sucking from my juicy body, they're going to bug hell.
Nice. That's one option. That's one possibly realistic approach is blanket pesticides across the whole world. But the obvious and unfortunate drawback is that's probably going to kill a lot of other insects because it's difficult to target just mosquitoes with pesticides, right? And you could also do something like try to increase all of their predators, like the populations of bats and frogs that eat their larvae and fish and whatever else. But that's only going to do so much. That's going to cull the population, but probably not completely, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are options, but maybe not the best options. One thing that would be a lot more difficult for us to think of, but scientists have been having some success with that I thought was interesting, is they've actually introduced a particular bacteria into the bodies of these mosquito populations that's called Wolbachia. And Wolbachia basically makes it harder for viruses to reproduce, and in particular viruses like malaria that these mosquitoes carry. And so the idea is they're not killing the mosquitoes, but they're reducing the mosquitoes' impact on us, on the ability to kill us.
Okay.
So the mosquitoes live, but we live too.
But the thing is, it's what we're really, really trying to get down to the core of is the annoying part where they go bzzz.
Exactly. For places that have to deal with actual malaria and other Zika and shit that like mosquitoes are ravaging your local, population, that's obviously awful. And that's so difficult to deal with. But for me, I don't have to deal with that. I'm very lucky to not have to deal with that. But I only deal with the idea that they're annoying as shit. And so, from my perspective, wipe them all out. I don't care if they don't transmit diseases because they can't transmit diseases to me. So, fuck them all. Fuck them all.
Oh,
hi, buddy.
Special guest appearance. It's the Pumpkin Man, Mr. Cat himself. Say hi, Mr. Cat.
Hey, bud.
Hello. It's your pal Donovan. He's on the screen. Mr. Cat,
has he been on any cool adventures lately?
He's just been walking around the neighborhood, keeping the other cats out of our stepping on all my stuff. Keeping all the other cats out of our yard, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on. Where he literally made you disappear. How did you do? Oh, there it is. I'll get you down here, pal. I love you, pal.
Bye.
Bye, little pumpkin man.
So that's one option to maintain the mosquito population, but make them less deadly towards humans. Because mosquitoes don't care if they're transmitting malaria and killing us. They just want that yummy, yummy blood, right?
Oh, amen.
But
like a vampire.
I care. I don't want them to get my blood and make me itchy and get me fucking annoyed and wake me up at 3 a.m. I want them dead. So let's talk about an option to just kill them outright. Because we have this fancy schmancy science these days. It's called gene modification, right? And that's a whole nother ethics can of worms. But one interesting sort of experiment that they've been doing recently that I saw is they've modified the genes of mosquitoes to make the proboscis, the thing that's actually stabbing and sucking the blood, weak. Too weak to pierce human skin.
Ooh, a weak proboscis. Can't get through here. No.
Can't get up, buddies. Bye, little guy.
Bye, little guy.
Yeah, and so it's actually funny because you see a video of one of these modified mosquitoes landing on a human skin and trying to pierce the arm, and it literally looks just like Whiskey Dick. Like the little mosquito is sitting there and he's using his arms to try to strengthen out and lengthen his proboscis, and then he tries to stab and it won't go in, and he fucking and you almost feel bad for him, but then you realize, no, fuck him. And
man, that's evil.
That's what they get for terrorizing generations of humans like me for as far back as we go, right? We're the apex predators. We're the dominant force in this land. So mosquitoes, you gotta go, bud. Here's the issue with gene modification, with things like weakening the proboscis is they still need to reproduce to make more generations of mosquitoes. But there's a catch-22, right? Because if mosquitoes can't reproduce and make more mosquitoes that can't fuck with us, only the modified mosquitoes end up being affected. You know what I mean? It doesn't affect the whole population because we're trying to kill the whole population.
It's like the sneeches on the beaches, but instead of star bellies and non-star bellies, it's who's got that thing and who ain't got that thing.
I have no idea what you just said.
If you know, you know.
That's the catch-22 that we're dealing with. We don't know how to successfully modify the genes of mosquitoes that allow them to continue to reproduce, but not fuck with humans. And eventually, we want them all to die out. But how do you do that? You need some kind of like genetic time bomb so that every mosquito gets affected, and then we could just Thanos snap them out of existence. Whoa. How to do that is yet to be determined, but I think that's the proper course of action. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
I'm going to say maybe one of the Slimers is listening while driving in the car, and they're like, wait, I've got an idea. And they leave a comment on our Patreon, and it changes the course of human history forever.
Yes, if you end up winning a Nobel Prize for removing all harmful mosquitoes from the face of the planet, then you are the lucky listener of the week.
Yay!
Congratulations.
You really earned that one.
Yeah, and you get my personal shout out. Thank you. This one's to you.
Another, maybe ethical discussion is a website we know and love, ? Temu. Temu is a website where you can get a bunch of things for excessively cheap prices. Or is it made in ethical fashions? Who knows? It's a gamble. Realistically, it's not.
No,
things are being sold for excessively low prices. And recently I found out about Temu's ability to customize products, and I was drunk at TwitchCon and I was laying in my bed at the end of the night, and I had the Temu app, and I got a notification that said like, buy one thing and get 100 other million things for free. And I was like, whoa, skibbity doobity boo. That sounds fun to me. So I clicked the notification and I find myself engorged within the beautiful engorged, absolutely engorged in the customization section of Temu. And I found that you're allowed to customize way more things than should be possible. And it looks like they don't have filters in the slightest. So I ordered 4 things. 2 of them got messed up, and I'm going to reorder them for my friends. But I got 2 of them, and they came in nice. And I figured we'd play a little game on the podcast called Things I Ordered When I Was Drunk on Temu Revealed, and Donovan explains them to the audio listeners.
Yeah, nice.
We cracked open a cold one here, and Donovan here, I need you to explain to the audio listeners what I'm holding up here. You ready?
This is going to be easy.
Do you want the price before or after?
Can I guess Price is Right style?
All right, that sounds great to me. You ready?
Yep.
Item number 1 of 2. Here we go. Tell the people what I'm holding up here. I'll rub it on the microphone.
I see a gold chain. There are so few pixels on the screen, and it's out of focus. Oh, no.
What does it say?
It's a beautifully die-cut gold metal chain with a pendant that says "Suck my penis" with the Mickey Mouse Disney logo at the end of it.
And it's in the Disney font.
It's really, really well done, too.
That's what I'm saying. I was hanging out with my friends at TwitchCon. They're like, what are you doing? And I said, buying jewelry.
Yeah. Walk me down the thought process, because there's a lot of things you could say, suck my blank, and you chose the most scientific, just penis. What? Because why didn't you go with Wang, Weiner, Cock, Dickus?
That's a really good question. Thank you for asking. So I think the thing about it is, this was my first product actually on the things that I was trying to like buy. And like when you're at an arcade and you finally get the high score and you're like, am I allowed to type ass? And like you end up, instead of typing ass, you write like cum or fart because you're afraid like maybe it won't accept it. This was me kind of
wanted to type ass, but you just typed cum instead to test the water.
Yeah, this was just trying to see if this was possible, if dreams could in fact come true. So my first try was a gold Mickey Mouse pendant that says "Suck my penis," and I thought if this goes through, then anything is possible, baby. So I know "Suck my penis" Mickey Mouse chain's a little basic, but it was a starting point.
This product, I actually think that's exceptional. Suck my penis gold chain. That's getting an 8 out of 10. Love that drip. I would, if you walked into the room with that thing, you are a star. You are the center of attention.
I've been wearing it all week under my shirt.
I'm going to say that costs exactly $14.99.
No, that was like $4.50, brother.
For a custom cut gold chain?
And that's where we get to the ethical discussion. Who made this product?
When it's $4.50, it's okay. So there's a human cost involved. You know what I'm saying? There's a payment that humans are making on your behalf to be able to buy that product that cheap. How do you feel about that?
Terrible. I feel bad. I try not to buy things on Temu because I know it's a bad experience, but unfortunately, I feel like most things that are made in the world is a really bad experience. I don't think we're doing a lot of ethical creation.
That's true.
That's
general.
True. But now,
there's a spectrum.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help for me to throw fuel into the fire by being on Temu at any point. But can you get a Suck My Penis gold chain on Amazon? Not yet.
Unfortunately not. No.
And that's the issue.
I do admit the result, does it justify the means? No, but it's an incredible product.
That notification got me. They should not send me 3 a.m. notifications being like, you want to suck my penis chain? I'm like, well,
you got me there, Temu.
It's so mean. Like they know
Temu hit you with the "you up," but for capitalism.
It's so evil. All right, but it only gets worse. I have one more product to show you, and this is where I almost feel bad about this one.
Almost. Okay, got it.
Okay, I should feel bad about this one.
You clearly don't feel bad. Just move on.
Okay. You ready? Now, I will add some details along the way, but I'm going to need you to be the eyes and ears of the listeners here.
Okay.
What do we got?
It's some kind of cloth. We're revealing with a slow pan up. I see Mickey Mouse ears. I see it's a blue night sky, stars in the background. He's sleepy Mickey Mouse. He looks very peaceful.
It's very, very soft.
And it's big, too. It's huge. Okay. Okay.
What?
Okay, so it's peaceful Mickey Mouse sleeping on some clouds, night sky in the background, and the bottom says, "Come in my ass."
Isn't that crazy? You can do that?
Really cool. Really cool. Now I see why you don't feel bad, because that's really cool.
That's so cool. cool. They made this for me.
I hate that.
It's so comfortable.
Tell me this was more than $10.
This was like $8.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Dude, yeah. So I spent less than $15, or I spent like $20 because I got 2 more chains for the gang. But what I did find out is there's a character limit. I was trying to make a chain for my friend Sea Sprizzle and Foxtrot, and I wrote like Foxtrot has a huge, giant, fat cock, but it cut it off, and so it just ended up with like Foxtrot has a huge, and that was like the end of it. So I got to redo them, and I hope they're not listening to the episode because the surprise is spoiled now.
I'm curious, how do you think that would work physically? How would you spell out Foxtrot has a huge cock on a chain?
I genuinely have no idea. Well, I was curious. Like I was saying, the necklaces were kind of like a testing the waters experience. And Suck My Penis was to see if there was a filter. And then writing a full sentence was to see how much I can get away with. And I lost that one. I won one battle and I lost the other.
Yeah. But in the end, it's the child laborers who made these products that lost the ultimate battle.
I feel bad. I feel bad using Temu, and it's like I feel like if I wasn't drunk, would I have ordered these things? Probably as well. They're really cool, but
ultimately, it is such a fine line. When we're walking around the world, we're making these decisions every day. Here's an interesting comparison. Here in Turkey, when you go to the grocery store, the eggs all have numbers stamped on them. And so you could get eggs that are 00, 01, 02, and they directly
like bingo balls.
Yeah, except these bingo balls correspond to the quality of life that the chickens who produce these eggs had, right? And so if you want to be a big baller and buy expensive eggs that have 00 stamped on them, you know that you're contributing to less human or less chicken suffering than if you buy the 04 eggs, for example.
Wow.
Right? And so it's a spectrum, right? Every single day when you buy a product, you're voting with your dollar. You could try to buy ethically raised and hatched meat or whatever, or you just don't give a fuck, or you can't afford to do that, and you're forced to just contribute to essentially the torture of these animals. And that's something that we're it's normalized. We're used to, right? And the same thing is happening for products. It's just less transparent. You don't think about it or see it as much. And so things like Temu, it's the exact same. This is that gold chain that should be labeled with a 10. You know what I mean? In terms of the ethical repercussion of producing that product. However, I can't fault you, man, because we're making these decisions every day. And it's becoming more normal to expect ultra cheap, ultra shit quality, but it doesn't matter because, to be honest, that chain is swag as shit. That's awesome. And I can't even blame you for that. You know what I mean? Even if I'm painfully aware, it says "suck my penis" with a Disney logo. That's sick as hell. You know what I mean?
And I was just also thinking along the same lines, if I were to get this ethically sourced, how much do you think the Suck My Penis Disney chain would cost?
A lot.
A fuckload.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, in order to be able to afford products that make you a good person, you have to be a bad person to get that much money. So no one wins in the end.
It's a lose, 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 lose.
It's something that we're so used to, but it's just a behind the scenes evil that I think eventually has to come crumbling down. I don't think billionaires should exist. And whoever's running Temu, they're just the next iteration of what's been a long line of basically capitalists taking advantage of laborers in order to make cheaper products that we're still going to consume, because that's just what we're used to. That's the lives that we live. And whether or not that's fine just because we're used to it, that's a whole nother discussion. But I can't blame you for buying this chain. That chain's sick as shit.
Can you blame me for the cum in my ass making you all sleeping?
Same thing. The cum in my ass blanket, that's a legendary product. If we were RPG characters and I killed you in combat, that would drop from you. That would have a 2% drop rate. And if I got that from your body, I looted that, I would be so stoked.
And I'm unironically using it all the time because it's so comfortable and warm. I'm also putting it out in the living room as our like decorative throw. And it just looks so good.
Yeah, it looks cozy. You look very cozy.
I am. I'm just as comfortable as Mickey is.
Is that an AI generated Mickey, or how did that come about?
Oh, I think it's stolen artwork.
Okay, that's a whole nother thing.
No, I genuinely think they went on Google and typed in "sleeping Mickey Mouse" and stole someone else's artwork.
Okay. So let me give this an ethics rating. I'm gonna rate the ethics behind this about a 2 or maybe a 1 out of 10. But product rating, absolute 10, bro. Good job.
Now think about this. By buying this blanket, I'm not buying an actual Disney licensed blanket, and therefore I'm not supporting Disney, which is also
Right.
an evil company.
Right.
So maybe I'm doing a good deed. Maybe I'm a hero.
Right. So I think that's a really interesting discussion too. Yeah, because it's true. It's true. When you choose something, you're also not choosing every other thing. There's a negative space that exists for every positive space. So you're right. That is good. And it also means that you didn't spend that dollar on heroin or illegal prostitution or a lot of other shit that may be even worse for society. So
I
you know
sure
what?
didn't.
Thank you for buying this come in my ass blanket for Temu. You're a hero.
You're welcome, everybody. I'll do it again sometime if you'd like.
All right, so I have one last question about the Temu stuff, and then we can move on. We have
Yes.
an interesting. I love the sound of this. I have no idea what it means, but you're going to be talking about the Skeleton Coast Safari.
Ooh,
But real
spooky.
quick before we do, on Temu, at one point you said you bought a Matter Daddy, right?
A what?
You bought a Matter Daddy on Temu?
Matter Daddy? What's a Matter Daddy?
Nothing, man. I'm chilling, man. What's the matter with you?
All right, that's good, brother. I was like, wait a minute, huh? I was like, when did I say that?
All right, so Skeleton Coast Safari.
Today's episode, we're talking about scams. We're talking about scammers. We're talking about ethics. Now, this is both of those things combined into one exciting story that dates all the way back to 2006. Now, in modern eras, scambaiting is very much a thing that you can find on YouTube with creators like Kitboga and many others who basically their entire manifesto and goal in creating content is to scam scammers by wasting as much time as they possibly can of these scammers to stop them from potentially scamming someone else with that time. And I, as a human, was maybe a little ignorant, maybe a little dumb, and thought, like, you know, this must be a new thing. We're living in a new content era. YouTube is a new thing. We just started making videos on the concept of scamming scammers. But turns out we can go all the way back to 2006 online, an era before YouTube, an era before videos that weren't 40 minutes to download. And there is a website known as 419eater.com. And 419eater.com is a website specifically devoted to wasting as much time of scammers as possible and then telling the entirety of their story via forums. 419 is a code specifically for financial frauds or the Nigerian letter scam, cash advanced wire fraud. And so 419 Eaters is a website specifically devoted to posting about the lulls of wasting the time of scammers. The specific story I'm going to tell today is the road to the Skeleton Coast. And my ethical question is this okay? Is it okay to waste the time of somebody who is willing to ruin other people's lives financially via scam? The story goes like this. It is July 2006. There is someone who is going by the name of Troy McClure, which you might recognize from The Simpsons. And he has received a ton of scam letters from known scammers. And these scammers have significant backstories that have been logged by the 419 Eater community. And he finds a specific target who he has recognized from previous scams and sends him the bait. The bait being, I am an old retired man who is disgruntled with my company, who is working off the coast of Namibia. I have a large chest of money that I'm going to drop a GPS locator in, and I need you to collect it off the shore and then send me the money, and then I'll give you your cut. And he sends this specifically to someone who had sent him an email trying to scam him. So he gets sent the scam letter, and he hits him with the old reversal, the reverse Uno card right off the bat with his own version of a scam.
Okay, so the premise is he's going to release a treasure chest and he's going to give this scammer the map because for some reason, how is he getting this money?
So the idea is this person is someone who is just about to retire from this job, and he's very much a disgruntled maintenance worker on the outpost of the northwestern Namibian coast. And he figures if this chest of money that he found in a spare room within their outpost was just, you know, thrown overboard and landed upon the ocean or upon the seashore, he could just pronounce that as an accident and maybe not something that could be traced to him. He is specifically looking for someone to launder the money, someone to find the money that went missing and then split it with him.
Beautiful. Okay, got it.
Beautiful. So he tells this person there's several hundreds of thousands of dollars in this room. He is nearing retirement age, and this money would be life-changing, not only for him, but the person who is willing to help him out with this scam. It is 2006. GPS technology is known by most, but not by everybody. He tells this man that he is going to give him the GPS coordinates to this box. According to the 419 Eaters Road to the Skeleton Coast website, there is a large series of emails that are exchanged in which our friend who is scamming the scammer explains that he is going to be putting a GPS location device within the treasure chest that has a quote-unquote $627,000 in 2006. He gets the guy in. The guy says, yes, I'm in. I'm going to catch a plane to Namibia so I can come and get this cash for you. The scammer gets on a plane and comes to Namibia. The person running the scam bait then says, wait, hold on. I actually can't throw this off the side of our outpost. I'm going to bury it in the sand on the Skeleton Coast. I'm going to need you to come to the Skeleton Coast and dig it up. So the guy says, got it. No worries. I'll bring my shovel. I got like my brother with me. We're doing our thing. They get there. The second they get there, he updates the email and says, I am at the location, but I can't find the treasure chest. And he says, wait, hold on. I just got new GPS coordinates. Turns out it's been swept away by the ocean, and it's going up just a little bit higher, like 20 miles north. The guy says, okay, I'll go up 20 miles north. He gets there. He goes, oh, shit, it's 20 miles north again. And he goes, oh, shit, it's 20 miles north again. This guy gets fucking strung along the coast for a long amount of time. Eventually, to be asked, it's looking like it's in the middle of the ocean. You need to get scuba gear. So this guy's like, I don't know how to scuba dive, but okay, I'll give it a look. And upon realizing scuba diving is not something that he can do on one of the most dangerous coasts in the world, he then is told, you need to get a boat. So this guy rents out a boat to go find this treasure chest that is allegedly at the bottom of the ocean. And he spends a significant amount of time on one of the most dangerous coasts where a large amount of ships specifically sink. It's called the Skeleton Coast specifically because there are so many skeletons of ships, as it is such a dangerous region to be charting the waters of. And he is on a boat having an absolutely miserable time trying to find this treasure chest. Long story short, he doesn't find the treasure chest. He's been strung along for a long amount of time, and they come to a conclusion. Fuck you, buddy. Hey, fuck you, buddy. And that is the end of the story. No one gets anything, but this scammer has weeks of his life taken away from his other job, which is scamming people. Now, is it kind of mean to string someone along like that? Yes. Is it mean to string along a scammer who's trying to use their time to ruin others' lives? I don't know, and that's what I want to ask you. And yeah, that's the story of the Skeleton Coast Safari. And for reference, that is 419eater.com/html/skeleton coast/safari 7.html. Check it out. It's an old classic website. It's one of those websites where you look at it and you go, ancient internet, when it was still so ugly, but we used it.
I was just recently thinking, so in our episode show notes, we have the title of the document. It has XXX. It says episode XXX show notes. And it got me thinking, you remember when XXX meant porn?
Still does, I think.
It still does, but don't you think, if you see XXX now online or on a website, it's doesn't that feel like old school porn? Doesn't it feel like old people porn?
It's like you're expecting it to be on a VHS or something crazy.
Yeah, it just...
Or
it just
140p.
Yeah. From way back in the day when all the porn websites had viruses, and it got me to thinking about now I need to be able to trust porn. We live in a porn civilized society.
Along those lines, I feel like Pornhub is the Coca-Cola of porn.
It's just so civil and so almost mundane. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's almost boring.
Yeah. When's the next step? When is it going to be exciting again? When is it going to be dangerous again?
When are they bringing out porn 2?
So with the Skeleton Coast, okay. So I think this all boils down to the concept of criminal justice, right? What is a proper amount of your
my Pokemon card? Yeah, chat, for reference, or listeners, I have a Pokemon card on the top of my webcam because there's a solar flare like it's a Michael Bay film. I'm trying to protect your eyes.
Yeah, and that's working really well. But anyway,
Thank you.
What is the proper punishment for a particular crime? You know what I mean? So scamming, obviously, piece of shit thing to do. Absolutely a crime. But how do you properly, do you kill a scammer? No, that's probably There you go, burp fetishes. That's probably too much. Or do you slap them on the wrist? That's probably too little, right?
Or you burp all over them.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, this is an epic story, and I think this is I think a very valid punishment for a scammer, depending on what they're scamming, how, whatever. But yeah, that's hilarious. And the scammer actually got something from this. They learned how to swim, so congratulations.
Yay, a story.
In the end, I don't know, man. Like, I do. Should you scam scammers? Yes, but does that make you a scammer too? Yes. You know what I mean? So it's
Now,
kind of
is there
ethically
noble
ambiguous.
scamming? Like, can you be the Robin Hood of scamming? Scam for the poor and or scam the rich and give to the poor?
1,000%. Like, for example, I am a huge fan, and I think it's perfectly fine to steal from these big mega corporations who have billions of dollars and don't care about people. Like, yeah, if you skim some off the top of them, fuck them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's fighting back. But if you steal from somebody who needs it, like a mom and pop store, fuck you. So it's a delicate balance sometimes. And with scamming, yeah, man, you know how they say necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Mm.
I think it's also necessity is the mother of crime sometimes. And there are people in places that are typically impoverished that have no other viable option to make money than to scam. And so I think that's a lesser crime, for example, than somebody who's just doing it for the shits or doing it because they're an asshole. You know what I mean? So it depends. Why are they scamming, as well as who they're scamming and how bigly. You know what I mean?
100%. I fully agree with you on all that.
Yeah. But in the end, it's a shitty thing to do. Should you do it? No. And in a perfect society, it wouldn't exist. But yeah, is this Skeleton Coast Safari guy a legend? And do I absolutely applaud their efforts and think that it was the right thing to do? Yes, 1,000 times.
It has been recently followed up upon by a streamer known as Kitboga, who is doing the exact same thing currently, but he is GPS tagging a box that is being sent to scammers, but he also has their GPS locations because they clicked a link on their phone to confirm that they want to accept the box. So whenever they get close to the box, he is moving it a couple streets over. And this is currently happening live right now by a YouTuber and Twitch streamer known as Kitboga. So check him out as well if you like scam baiting.
It's like the Sisyphus of scamming. You know, the guy who rolls the ball and then it just keeps fucking rolling down.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's great because he has them on live call where they're like, I swear it's moving right now. And he's like, sir, I wish I could help you, but I am not in charge of the mail. The mail is just moving on its own. And these people just start screaming, thinking there's like 10 Bitcoin in this box and they've traveled across town for it.
Sometimes I feel like when you hear the scammers and they're so frustrated on these calls and like when you're fucking with them, they get so angry. It's because like, yeah, maybe they're scamming so they could fucking eat tonight. And then the ethics are like, should you let yourself be scammed?
Well, that's why whenever I get scam calls, I like to answer. And sometimes I like to give them a real conversation. They say, hi, how are you? And then I give them a nice 4 or 5 minutes about my day. Because they asked, and I'm here to answer that question. Like, I woke up. I had like a good 6 hours of sleep. I'm not feeling so hot today. My tummy hurts. And I'll just go, and I'll just go, and I'll just go, and I'll just go. And then they say something about Medicare, and then it's over. And I'm like, all right, let's cut the shit. I know what you're calling for, and you know what you're calling for. How's your day? Please, let's take a moment from the scamming. How are you? It's nice to just
check in,
level it a little.
Yeah, I mean, scammers are people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, who's going to clean the cleaning lady? Who's going to scam the scammers?
Amen.
I know there's been a lack of cock and ball content this episode. That's because we're interested in ethics right now. Okay. Every week we're going to be interested in something new. So hopefully this is still entertaining and valuable to you guys, but let us know. Do you guys want less ethics? Do you guys want more cock and balls? We can do it all. But in the meantime,
we really can do it all. Did I tell you what the conversation is about to be about?
No.
Well, great news. Let me introduce you. Right hand, cock and balls. Left hand, ethics. They're shaking hands right in the middle. This is the subject we've been waiting for. For those who are missing the cock and balls, for those who are enjoying the ethics, take a seat. This next story is for you.
Okay, I'm sitting. I'm ready, spaghetti. What's it about?
All right, question. Legally appropriate graffiti. If I go down the alleyway and I just scribble, scrabble anything, it's a crime. Correct?
Correct.
If I go on the side of the road and I put up a big giant statue, it's a crime.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Now, this is going to be very controversial, and I mean this sensitively. So if I were to go ahead on the side of the freeway and put 2 big old balls and a cock set statue, it would get taken down immediately, correct?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Depends.
Thinking about this led me to be curious about at what point an installation of any sort of edifice or statue becomes a crime, because it is very much a common tradition within at least the United States. When there is an accident on the side of the freeway, you put a big cross. I was driving down a road in Texas and I saw a massive cross on the side of the road, and I thought, that's been here for years. And that's cool. I'm personally all for it. Do your thing. Put it as whatever you want on the side of the road. That's awesome. My question is, though, if my personal religion is cock, and I die in a fiery accident on this side of the freeway, and I had my boy put a big cock and balls masterpiece where I passed away, why does that not get to stay up, but a religious symbol is okay? In a world where religion and the law is supposed to be separated, why is my cock and balls masterpiece not okay, but a cross is? No, and this is with respect to religion. Do your thing. I think y'all can absolutely have your crosses. That's sick. But I want my cock and balls set next to my car accident scene.
The first question is, do you genuinely worship cock?
Some days.
So if you actually, is this your real religion, your real doctrine? You go to cock church every Sunday. You pray to cock Jesus. What?
But here's my question. I feel like, this is, with full respect, are all the people that have died in these accidents like true Christians or true whatever it means to be a part of your religion? Are they really a part of that thing, or are they just something they grew up with in the household with?
Yeah, so it's a good question, but I think it at least has plausibility. You know what I mean? And you could at least say you're respecting their wishes and maybe helping them go to heaven or whatever by putting that cross down. So if you genuinely believe, or at least you can convince others that you believe in cock Christ, and you're putting this effigy or whatever of a cock on the freeway because you want to go to cock heaven, or it represents something real to you, then I think it has some merit. If it's clearly a parody, then absolutely no way.
Interesting. But I'm curious, at what point is like the style of art decided on the side of the road linked to religion being defended by the law in an unnecessary manner?
Like it comes down to also just the government and its ties to religion. Like, are we secular or non-secular, right? And in America, we have a freedom of religion, but we're also so closely tied to Christianity. We're one nation under God. It's on all of our currency, all of our coins. Everything is we put our hands on the Bible when we go to court or when we swear politicians into office. Like,
right.
Is that not sus as hell? You know what I mean?
I pledge allegiance under God,
If it became the predominant religion in America, or at least there was a major following of cock worshippers, then yeah, I think you could reach some social acceptance and it would be more okay to have a cock on the freeway. But there's the other question of showing cocks in public. Clearly, it's a very hot topic. It's in some places, maybe like in Europe, they're a lot more cock friendly. The cocks are on the fountains. You know what I mean?
The statue of David, the perfect man.
Exactly, and he's got a piece on that. Hey, have you seen?
He's got a piece on that. I thought he had a peanut.
That's a whopper, bro.
Really? Dude's got a slanger?
He's an OG Mudbone.
A hog wrestler.
Yeah. He's David and Goliath downstairs. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, anaconda owner.
Anyway, yeah. Is cock okay?
I feel like at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's like, you either got one or you don't. And it's like the book, Everybody Poops. We all poop. Like, we can talk about poop. If it's okay to have the poop emoji in every fucking mall, in every shop, on plushie here, plushie there, and I'm forced to look at poop all day, what's wrong with the human penis?
Yeah, no, it's a great question.
I'm not sexualizing this hog. This hog doesn't need to be sexualized. This ball, this schlong doesn't need to be a sexual experience. When I pee-pee, I'm not having sex. I'm peeing. And if pooping is okay, what's wrong with the device that makes the pee?
Yeah, dude. Like, is a sexual organ kind of tied to sexual activity? And should sexual activity, should we shield children from that concept up until a certain age? Probably. How do you determine that age? Like, what sort of activity is okay or safe to publicly show? I don't know. These are all really difficult questions to answer. But yeah, if we're sexualizing something, I think generally speaking, we should avoid showing it to everybody because there are sensitive parties towards that. You know what I mean? So is it a flaccid cock? Are you putting a rock hard cock on the freeway? These are different things.
I was thinking like, the inflatable wacky tube armor man. I was trying to get 2 balls and an inflatable wacky tube man just going crazy where I died.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you make it look like a cartoon, then it's sort of like when cigarette companies made cigarettes that were actually bubble gum and marketed towards children.
And really cool.
You shouldn't put cartoon cocks out there because that's even more geared towards kids.
You got a great point here. I'm glad I brought this topic to the table. I really wanted a real analysis, and I don't think many people are ready for this type of conversation, but you came prepared.
Yeah, it's a tough one, though. It's a really good question, man. Should we have cock effigies on the freeway?
And I would like to say with disclaimer, full respect to religion, do your thing 100%. I was just genuinely curious from an ethical standpoint. Penises on the side of the freeway, that's what I'm thinking about at 5:30 a.m. Texas time. Let me tell you, listeners, this is a rodeo.
Yeah, shout out to Cock Christ, but we got to wrap this episode up. If you have any hot takes or you want to provide your insight in the comments, please go ahead and write that down, whatever platform you're on. If it's YouTube, because by the way, we're on video. You could see us right now talk about this stupid shit. So yeah, go ahead and leave a comment, please, por favor. I don't know how to say please in Estonian, but it's probably something crazy. I'm gonna look it up right now, and you can maybe talk about our Patreon.
I would like to say, let me just give a shout out to our Patreon commenter of the week. It's the homie J Shark yet again. He is currently flying through the episodes. He has been behind, but he has been actually listening to an episode of the podcast a day and leaving live time comments. You need to check out the Patreon comments that J Shark has been leaving because it's been making me laugh my little pants off. I love that guy. You are currently the lucky Patreon listener of the week. So thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. Our Patreon is patreon.com/L2BC. We got bonus content on there. We got a community having a good old time in the comment section, and also J Shark's there. So that's that. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on TikTok. Thanks for listening. Give us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to. Algorithm Daddy is hungry, and we gotta feed that bad boy. But yeah, this has been the Last Brain Cells podcast. My name is Austin, and we got our beautiful boy
Donovan.
And thanks for listening to this good old time. And we'll see you again hopefully in the future. But first, I think we got a special little outro because that's what we do around here.
Yeah. And right before we hit that outro, I just wanted to say in Estonian, please is palun.
Palun.
And do you know how to say beer in German?
No.
It's beer.
Now that's exciting. I love when it works out like that.
We're gonna do an experiment or a game. I can only say your name, and you can only say my name, however you want and however I want. And the first person to smile loses and is the unlucky podcast co-host of the week.
Wow, I got a long week ahead, and so do you.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, Donovan.
Austin. Donovan. Donovan. Me, Donovan. Me, Austin. Donovan. No.
Okay, I think we lost at the same time.
That was really rough.
Oh, that was really rough. That was like playing peekaboo with a baby and they're uninterested. That was like really scary.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you become a Pokemon, you can only say your name except for it's the other person's name.
Miltank, you know.
Well, my ability is thick fat. What was it?
Thick and fat. That's my ability. Amen. Right?
Yeah. No. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to Last Two Brain Cells episode 32.
Also, we got a new album coming out soon. Young Dick Boy, Young Baseball. Pull up. Check it out. Peace, fellas. Whoop!